Hey everybody, it is Techie Mark in the Operation Black Dawn test build again. This time focusing on Recoil. We're going to start, we're going to check out all of the guns. They're all going to be shot fully automatic, but we're going to do 4 different tests on each gun. The first one is going to be hip fire, full auto, all the way till the mag is empty. The second one is going to be aimed down sight. And once again, until the mag is empty. The third and fourth test is going to be hip fire and ADS again, but this time I'm going to try to control the shots. That's really more a reflection of my ability, but I mean, you know, I'm not really like a pro here either, so you get like a general sense of what it's like to try to control the gun and what you can achieve when you're controlling it as you're shooting it from full to empty. So let's go ahead and get started with the SCAR. One thing you might notice about all of the guns in 0 Hour is that when you hip fire, all of the guns seem to trail off to the right. In the case here of the AK, you see that in hip fire, 5 bullets actually managed to hit the target off on the right hand side, and this is at close range. So you see it's a little bit of a different story when you aim down your sight. In this instance, 8 bullets actually hit the target from center, and the 9th one just went over the top of the head of the target. I think the most relevant piece of information from this shot that you see is the first 3 bullets. It's about the first 2 to 3 bullets you can manage to pull the gun back down and recover from the kick that you get. And for a lot of players too, they actually don't bring the gun down. Their version of a controlled fire is to maybe do like a little bit of a manual burst mode, if you will. Shoot a few bullets, then let go of the trigger, then shoot a few bullets again. So for most people, the first 3 bullets is what's going to matter. And honestly, you're better off controlling your shots more by pulling down on the mouse and then just letting the trigger rip. You're going to see what it's like to do a controlled fire now. Notice how effective you can be pulling down on the mouse rather than just taking a few shots at a time. Check out the grouping of those holes, how close they are together. And this is what you can do. And this is on hip fire as well. This isn't aiming down. So the controlled fire makes a big difference when you're shooting even on hip fire. So there you have it. Aimed down sight. Full trigger. I didn't let go of the trigger at all. And almost every single shot is inside that white circle. And if you're like most players who are shooting a few shots at a time and letting go of the trigger, and you're Mr. Woody over there, you're dead. Probably 5 times over. So you can control your shots really well in this game just by pulling down the mouse. And this is with the SCAR. Let's go play with some more guns. Before we talk about how useless shooting the M4 is on hipfire, I also want to mention that when you see the camera reset back to center from all the way up to the top, that is not me bringing the camera back down. That's actually the game automatically resetting the camera back to its position. So that's just another factor in it. But of course, hipfire we know is very uncontrolled just to start with, and in this case, only 2 bullets hit the target and way outside towards the edge of the circle. While aiming down your sight from center, you'll see that the M4's third shot is at about the same position as the Scar's third shot. It's in the same ring for sure, just a little bit more center than the Scar, which was a little bit to the left. And that can possibly even be attributed to some randomness or variation in shots. So overall, they're pretty close. Once again, controlled fire, no real science here, just more of a demonstration of what a semi-average player can accomplish by controlling their fire with full auto. And here you pretty much see the reason why I tend to like to run with the M4. Just almost every single bullet controlled fire is inside that white circle. Very good weapon. So, with the kyanite or the fake it's like off to the right, and 3 of the bullets are definitely touching the body, and one of them is maybe, I don't know if you count it or not, touching the white border. But if you're just counting the circle, I mean that's almost like don't even bother hip firing. Now, the kyanite's third shot is actually just ever so slightly off to the right of the SR762. You can just see it's just in between the red and the blue circles. So pretty close. I don't have to keep cutting in here to tell you how bad hip fire is and how much better controlled shots are. So I'm just going to show you the results of the rest until we get back to the uncontrolled shots when aiming down your sight, which is where most people are probably going to be shooting their guns. I know I said I wouldn't cut in here like this, but I just wanted to point out this is the ES36 based on the real-life G36C, and this is the gun that's coming out in Operation Black Dawn. All right, so there's actually a lot to talk about here, so we're just going to jump right in and start dissecting it. Firstly, the thing that immediately jumps out to me when you're looking at this chart here is the first bullet actually started below the target where I was aiming down the sight. Everything was aimed down from center. Now, remember, this is the test build, and this is the new gun. So everything that you're looking at now is a work in progress. It's possible that by the time Operation Black Dawn comes out, this gets reworked where the first shot actually lines up with the sight down the middle. So expect that maybe this could change. But that's something that actually jumps out right away. Assuming that the recoil doesn't change and just the first shot changes where it goes, then that would put the bullet for the ES36, probably the third bullet, probably somewhere around here. And that would mean that it's pretty wide compared to everything else we've seen so far. The other thing that stands out with this is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 targets, or 9 shots hitting the target, or the dude at least, not really in that circle. Maybe that 9th one, even if you raise the first shot a little bit, that 9th one might still make it. I like the linear climb that the gun has, and how many bullet holes are in there, as we just talked about. I mean, you have 5 of them that would be within the circle, even if we adjusted it. Maybe that 5th one still counts in there. So that's a lot of bullets coming out before it climbs out of that target circle. So overall, I mean, this looks like it could be a favorite pretty early when Operation Black Dawn comes out. Alright, I'm going to get this off the screen quickly because I think I found my new favorite gun, and we're going to keep this a secret between us. So far, the Rattler is the first gun we've seen in this video that has actually had the 3rd shot within the white circle. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. So for the Oppressor, which is the MP5 SD, it's really not that unlike its sister, the MP7 or the Rattler. Pretty close to each other, just short of where the M4 climbs up to. The MAC-10 was actually the most surprising to me because I expected it to have the most kick. It's got the fastest full auto rate of the guns that are in the game, but I thought it would be higher. The 3rd bullet is actually not as high as I expected it to be. So there is the MAC-10, and well, you can see, again, an inexperienced person trying to control the fire. That's going to be pretty wild, but you can see my attempt at trying to control the MAC-10. So I hope you learned something from this. I know I did, and just even about what's going on in the game now, not just specifically to the future for Operation Black Dawn. Yeah, I think this was overall pretty interesting. What I picked up from trying out these various weapons. One thing that I will also point out and note is that we're using the closer target just to show the recoil pattern, really. If you really want to figure out maybe what's happening in your PvP matches, I would suggest using the farther target, especially when practicing using controlled shots. With that, I am Techie Mark, or X-Playman in the game, and this has been another showcase of Operation Black Dawn. We'll catch you in the next one.